friends, and welcome back to the channel. I am so glad to have you here today, even if the topic isn't necessarily one that is all happy-go-lucky. Today we're going to talk about what to do when your rabbits won't breed. We are currently experiencing this here on our homestead. I have a pretty good suspicion of what is going on, so I'm going to share that with you here in just a bit and what we're doing about it. I gotcha. Declan, come open the door for me, please.
Okay. Why do you need it open?
Shut it.
Yeah.
Hey, floor bud. Ma'am.
Oh, is that all? That one? I need a little bit more. Mom?
Wrong side, dude.
I'm gonna keep in the channel about like being the channel.
Alright, Kimmy girl. Come on. There you go.
Trying to sneak food.
The rabbits or the chicken?
Huh?
You said the rabbit.
Oh, sorry. Over in the chickens. Trying to sneak food.
Wow.
Come here, let me pet you. I gotcha. Oh, no, don't crawl away. But we're just gonna have a quick discussion about why your rabbits may not be breeding, who may be the culprit, and what to do about it. So when your rabbits won't breed, it's either one of two things. Obviously, your doe or your buck. Those are the only two involved in the whole breeding process. So either your doe's not lifting or your buck isn't performing very well. Now, when your doe and your buck successfully mate, you will have what is called a fall off. That's rabbit terminology for the male ejaculated in the correct place. So when a buck, so here's your doe, when your buck mounts your doe, he does his business. It happens very quickly, so make sure you're watching. And then he will literally fall off. He may fall to the side. He may fall off. If he just kind of gets up and walks away, usually he has not done his job. If you do not see a fall off, most likely your doe is not been bred. You should still treat her as bred until you know she is not. That's just a safety thing to make sure that you're providing a nest box when you need to for your rabbit. But there's a good chance she's not going to be bred. Now, if you see a fall off, but you still don't have babies from said fall off, then your buck may be what's called heat sterile. This commonly happens in the south after our long hot summers where our temperatures are 90, 100 plus degrees. We can see this happen. So rabbits don't do very well in the height, and once it gets over 80 and it's sustained over 80, it kills their sperm. Sad. Now these sperm will reproduce, but the rabbit system kind of has to get it going again before it'll start reproducing live sperm, and your rabbit can actually make kits again. Not all bucks will go heat sterile, so your rabbit may not ever have this problem. You won't know until it occurs on your homestead. Now if your goal is to breed for heat resistance, then obviously you won't want to pass on those traits of heat sterility. Find you a buck that doesn't go heat sterile and breed those traits in, if you see what I mean. We always breed for what we want. So if you're breeding a heat sterile buck, you may get heat sterile kits. Now this heat sterility only affects the bucks. It has no effect on the does. They just don't do very well when it's hot, especially if they are pregnant. And you can lose a doe to heat stroke very easily if she's bred in the hot summer months. So if your rabbits are not breeding and it is your doe not getting the job done, the first thing you want to do is stop and check her vagina. Check it like you're checking her gender. You should already know her gender. It's good at this point to double check her gender just in case the sex change fairy visited your house and you've got a rabbit of a different gender. It's easy as kits to misgender rabbits, and it happens all the time. You may not know it until your rabbits are not successfully breeding. So go ahead and check their gender. But that's not exactly what we're doing at this point. So once you've confirmed that they are in fact a doe, you want to check the color of their vagina. Red to purple means they're in high hormones. Pale pink means low hormones. They're not going to breed. So if your rabbit doe's vagina is a pale pink, that means she's in her period of low hormones. A normal rabbit cycle is 12 days of high hormones, 4 days of low hormones, 12 days of high hormones, 4 days of low hormones. It's a continuous cycle. If anything disrupts that cycle, then they're not producing hormones correctly. So if your doe is a pale pink, you can do a few tricks. You can wait and try again the next day, and then the next day, and then the next day, until you went through 4 days and seen if maybe they are changing colors and now they're receptive to breeding. You can take them on a car ride. In our homestead, we actually just put them in a 5-gallon bucket and, carry them around the yard. It simulates a car ride. But putting them in a cat carrier or something and taking them on a car ride for just a little bit sometimes will work. They say the change in atmosphere kind of kicks their hormones up, and it can help increase their ability to breed. Funny, I don't know, rabbits are weird. So you can try that. Some people will swap their rabbits' cages, so put the buck and the does and the doe and the buck and leave them in there overnight or for a few nights and then try to swap them back. And the hope there is that the smell of the opposite sex will get their hormones racing. Now in our situation, we definitely could not do that because our does all have kits at the moment. And so I don't want to put my buck into a cage full of kits and them not have their mom to, kind of eat off of because they're still nursing. So that wouldn't work for us at all. We did not take any of ours on a bucket ride, though we have done it successfully before. So those are some tricks you can try. Now, if it's your buck not getting the job done, maybe he's not very active in breeding. He tries to breed here, he tries to breed there, but he's not really gung-ho for it. Or your doe will not lift. So what that means is when your doe is sitting, she should lift her back end so that it's up off of the ground, and that allows the male to have access to her. If she doesn't lift her tail up and lift her hind end up, then he has no access to get to her because she's got it tucked underneath. You don't want that. Obviously, she's not getting anything done in that sort of situation. Unfortunately, this is the problem we're having on our homestead. Our does are not lifting. Our bucks are trying, our does aren't lifting. You can clearly see it when I'm watching them try to breed. The does are tucking their hind end under them. They're not lifting it up to give the buck access. And try as the buck may, he can't get access, so he can't successfully breed them. Currently, the only doe we have bred on our homestead at this moment is Manali. She's on to her second breeding for the season. None of our other does will lift. Shara has failed her second breeding. We've had an issue with breeding her in the past. We got her bred. She did not kindle. Had an issue breeding her again. That counts as 3 strikes, so she will be done breeding for our homestead. Unfortunately, we just work off a 3-strike year out rule, and Shara has not passed any of her strikes, so we hate to say goodbye to her. This is generally why you should not name your rabbits until they have successfully bred for you, because now that sucks. I may pass that name on to somebody else once they prove that they can breed. But the one that we currently call Shara, our black New Zealand doe, will no longer be with us. We're done trying. Our other does have all successfully bred this year. They're not lifting right now. They all currently have kits on them, so you would think with them nursing large litters of kits that they wouldn't get overweight, but you would be wrong. This is actually a common occurrence. So what happens is the doe gets more feed because she's nursing kits. But if you're overfeeding her or feeding too many treats or something like that, she's gonna pack on the pound, because rabbits' bodies are made to nurse kits, to have babies. Yes, it takes extra calories for them to do so, but not like a ton of extra calories, because that's what rabbits are. As a prey species, they are created to feed the world, to multiply as quickly as they can, to raise kits up as quickly as they can, to bounce back and have another litter as quickly as they can. In the wild, rabbits during their breeding season will often give birth and get rebred on the same day. Now, we don't do that here at our rabbitry. Normally, I breed back at 3 weeks. That didn't happen this time. We had some personal stuff going on with my grandmother passing away and then us all getting sick, and that pushed our breeding back and back. And so now our kits are about 5 weeks old. Their moms have been eating the good food for 5 weeks after giving birth, and they've gotten fat. That's all it is to it. They've gotten fat. So what we do about it when our does are overweight, or if our bucks are not trying to breed and they're overweight, is they go on a hay diet. Now this hay is just coastal Bermuda that we get from a farmer in our local area who cuts his own hay for his cows and horses and stuff. Coastal Bermuda is what is most often fed around us. Our rabbits really like this hay. It is very, very short hay. It's not like long stemmy pieces, but they really like it. And we pay about $50 for a big old round bale. So it's not terrible. It lasts us a long time because all we feed it to is rabbits and goats. So a hay diet is when you feed your rabbit hay for about 2 weeks, and it's basically hay exclusively, and this allows them to slim down and get in a better body condition so they can breed easier. Now, when I do attempt to rebreed them and I have the doe out of the cage, I will give the kit some sunflower seeds and oats to kind of help them get some extra calories in there to grow. Now, our rabbit colony currently has 4 rabbits in it. It has Shara, the black rabbit, who will no longer be with us. Manali, the white rabbit, who is the only one who successfully bred this time around. And she is our oldest breeding doe. This is her last season with us. And it has Manali's 2 5-week-old kits.
Oh man, he almost had it.
Alright, so we're going to see what the babies are, gender-wise.
Gender-wise?
I got the little black
That's her
one.
name?
No, baby, I gotta see what their gender is. That means whether they're a boy or a girl.
A boy or a girl?
What do you think the black one is, a boy or a girl?
A girl.
You think a girl? Let's find out.
I'm gonna get your goaty cat.
And let's see. We are a boy, it looks like.
Aww. You don't have anywhere to run.
Look how cute.
Can I pet her?
You can pet him while I hold him. No, while I hold him, because he's nice and calm right now. Alright, let's see what you are, other than dirty. Because you are definitely dirty.
You have to give him a bath. Soon. You have to give him a bath soon, Mama.
Oh, you are definitely a girl.
Yay! I can hold her.
You can pet her while I hold her.
Oh. Here's nice and comfy there.
Yeah, it's nice and comfy, just like this. Hey, no, just one. Don't throw dirt on her.
Watch out.
How do you get her?
So since Manali successfully bred, Shara is removed from the breeding program, and the 2 kits in here are still growing. They will be the only ones, other than the bucks, who are not on a hay diet because Manali's already bred. So I don't have to worry about slimming her down to get her to breed. They will, of course, get hay. Our rabbits always get hay, but they will get additional things like some alfalfa, some sunflower seeds, and some oats, different greens that are picked, things like that.
And all of these green things, here's a silly girl. Here we go.
Thank you. Can you go in and get their water so we can get it filled up, please?
Mama, what day will we feed hers?
Yeah, we'll feed them in just a minute.
Okay.
Oh, it's still got water in it. Can you just dump out the stuff that's in the side then?
Yes.
Alright, that should be good. Alright, go put it back. It's still got water in it.
What you said you have to put it.
Yeah, I thought it was empty, but it's not.
Ow.
You okay?
Yes. There we go, Mama.
Thank you.
I know how to do it now. There we go. You have a nice comfy nest.
A nice comfy nest.
Yes. I got you a nice comfy nest.
Okay.
Let her have it. You will be comfy. Nest over here.
Uh-oh.
What
Got
happened?
it in their water. There you go.
I put my drink right here.
All right, go get me some hay. Now, generally, when your rabbits won't breed, it's they're overweight. Rabbits don't look overweight even when they are obese, like way overweight, because rabbits gain weight around their organs first. You can take a rabbit who looks perfectly slim and butcher them, and every organ will be coated in fat. And so what that fat does is it squeezes the uterus of that doe, and they can't breed. Their hormones aren't working like they're supposed to. They're not going through that 12 of high hormones, 4 of low, 12 of high, 4 of low like we had previously talked about. They're just stuck in that 4 of low because the fat is strangling out their hormones. They don't kick back up into that high hormone cycle, so they don't feel the urge to breed. They just feel fat and lazy, and they don't want to breed for you. So by putting them on a diet, rabbits will slim down fairly quickly, and that will kind of shed that fat around their uterus. Their hormones will kick back up and they'll breed again. So your third issue may be due to your rabbit being new at breeding, especially if you're pairing a new buck with a new doe. Nobody knows what's going on. They don't know the score. They don't know what to do. Unfortunately, breeding in rabbits, because they've been bred for pets and on certain ways for so long, that instinct to know how to do it has been bred out. Because we have started breeding them on our own schedule, they've been raised as pets, they've been bred for show, they're not breeding as often. That instinct of knowing how to do it is kind of been bred out of them. So some rabbits really just don't know what to do. In that situation, we will rubber band breed rabbits, which sounds awful. I have an entire video that'll show you how to do it. It's not. You just take a rubber band to hold the rabbit's tail up. This kind of forces her to lift and kind of shows her what to do. It allows the buck greater access so he can teach her what to do. Occasionally you may have to help her lift to show her what to do. If a rabbit needs this on more than one time of breeding, like you do it once, she's successfully bred, she kindles, you have to do it again, then we would say no to that rabbit, because that instinct to breed just really isn't in her, and that's not something we would want to carry on in our future litters. They get a one-time off chance of learning how to do it before we give them an automatic strikeout for that. So if that is the situation, if it is a new duck, if it is a new buck or a new doe and they don't know what to do, rubber band breeding and breeding at the height of hormones where they're really deep pink purplish in the genitals, that will help you out. If none of this works, then most often you have a sick rabbit. A rabbit who is very sick, because even when they're a little sick, rabbits will breed. You would have a very, very sick rabbit that is taking a hold of its hormones. So if you have tried a hay diet, if you have tried checking their hormones and you know that they're like pink purplish, they should be ready to breed, their hormones are high. If you have tried to support them through rubber band breeding and teaching them how to do it, and if all three of those have failed, most often your rabbit has an issue, especially if they're an older rabbit. Older rabbits develop cancer fairly easily. It's just something that happens. Their bodies aren't meant to live as long as they do now. Because kind of like how humans were back in the old days when we didn't have all this medical technology and stuff, humans died young. Now we're living older, people are having more health conditions. Rabbits are the same. In the wild, where rabbits were originally found, and where rabbits can still be found, just a different species of rabbits, they don't live to be old. They may live 2 years in the wild, and most of them don't even make it that long, because they're prey species, so they're eaten by the predators of the wild. They're eaten often. They just don't make it to old age. And so rabbits in the wild don't see some of these health issues that we are seeing in rabbits today, because a domesticated rabbit, which are what we have behind us and what you have if you have a pet rabbit in your home, they live longer. Rabbits who are bred pretty regularly like we do may live to be about 5 years old. We only keep our does till they're 3 and then they're removed from our breeding program, but they can live to be about 5, and our bucks will be allowed to go up till 4. House rabbits can live to be 6 to 8 years old depending on their lifestyle and their health condition. but they don't live past that. So if you've got a rabbit who is getting on up in years, maybe 5 or so, and they're not breeding, there's a good chance it's because of a health condition that's taking them down. Okay, so to recap, if you're having an issue with your rabbits breeding, first, check the genitals. Check and see if they are pink or purple. Remember, purple is always better. If they are pink, especially a pale pink, your rabbit's not going to breed because they're not in that high hormone cycle. So you can check again repeatedly for the next 4 days, or check again in a week and see if they become purplish and then breed then. You can take them on a car ride or a bucket ride. You can swap their cages to see if that will kind of spark a little interest in them. 2, you can put them on a hay diet. This works for does and bucks. Just give them hay for 2 weeks. If you got nursing does like we do, give it to them for a week and then check their genitals, see if they went to a purplish. And if they have, if it's gotten deeper in color, try to breed them then. If not, go another week. I don't generally go past 2 weeks before giving them some extra calories. If they still aren't breeding at 2 weeks and I give them a little calories, I'll do it for a week and then put them back on a hay diet for 2 weeks. That way I just know that they're getting the vitamins and minerals and stuff that they need from additional food sources that they may not find in hay, because unfortunately hay doesn't contain everything they need. We have depleted most of our topsoil from its nutrients, and that just isn't available in hay anymore. So they do kind of need extra things to get those vitamins and minerals and stuff in them to keep them nutritionally balanced. So a 2-week hay cycle is always a thing. 3, you can try to rubber band breed your rabbits. Now, this is especially helpful if you've got new does or new bucks who don't know what they're doing. However, it can be used on rabbits of any age. This is just a method to help them lift and to help them breed. If your rabbits are overweight and they won't breed after a 2-week hay diet, I have seen people use the rubber band breeding method to kind of force the breeding, because as a rabbit is pregnant, she will naturally slim down as she's using up those extra calories, and then when she's lactating, using up those extra calories, it will help her slim down. So you could try that as well. That's something I've seen people do, as well as breeding back sooner, within a week or even immediately after a rabbit gives birth, if you have a foster doe available, and then that way you can help her slim down that way. And remember, if you've tried all of these things and your rabbit still will not breed for you, you may have a problem. Your rabbit may not be healthy enough to have the appropriate hormones to breed. If you have any questions about your rabbits, why they're not breeding, or what you can do about it, leave them down in the comments below. We are here to help. We are a community of rabbitry people who love to talk about rabbits. So that's all I have for you today, friends. So until next time, bye. We will see you later. I think the train is saying bye as well.